how do you like to suggest for your clients to start dating? Do you suggest like old-fashioned dinner dates, coffee dates? How do you make sure kind of people's food habits are also aligned with that?
So funny that you asked that because if you had asked me this 3, 4 years ago, I would have had a very different answer. Back then, I would have said he should be planning a dinner. He should be picking you up if you feel safe. He should be paying for dinner. You should go to a nice restaurant. That was my old mentality. Now I see it as for a first date, at least. That's just to see if you guys can have a conversation. That's just to see if there's some level of compatibility and you're not completely on different planets. So the first date, in my opinion now, should be a quick happy hour drink or a walk or a coffee date, something really simple, something that you can be done with within an hour. You don't have to spend your whole night with that person. And I think that's important because when you do end up doing these really intense dinner dates, they can turn into 2, 3 hour events. And spending that much time with somebody that you just met, you're going to start romanticizing them if you're having like a decent time at least. You're going to start being like, wow, this is my person. I cannot tell you the number of dates I left like that where like, he took me to a nice dinner. He was really gentlemanly. And I left being like, that's my husband. There he is. I found
Really?
him. He certainly was not even
Yeah.
close. But I had this romanticized view of him because I spent so much time with him. There was so much chemistry and I wasn't slowing down. So having the first date be a little bit less intense is a great way to slow yourself down in that way too. So
Yeah, and
with,
I've had the opposite experience where it was just like 3 hours of torture. Like,
it's another reason you want it to be a quick thing because nobody wants to be stuck on that. How on earth do you leave? It's so uncomfortable. That's
mhm.
awful.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think so many of us could write books
Yeah.
on the odd first dates that we've
Yeah.
had. I have more respect for that movie. I think that Katherine Heigl movie, which is like 50 First Dates.
Yes.
Like
Oh my God.
I, I understand. I
So
feel like it's been 100 first dates.
at least we have good stories, I suppose. Like we have great stories to tell our friends. But yeah, it can be really tough, which is why that first date, even the first couple, should be a little less intense. And then slowly with time, you see if he puts the effort in. So that's kind of what I guide people on. And a lot of times that's not the mindset, but it's starting to shift a little bit more. And then with
Yeah.
food specifically, I was going to say,
Yeah.
I think when you get to that like third, fourth date, whatever it is, where they start to put a little bit more intention you get to see where they choose to take you. And if they choose somewhere that I don't, healthy restaurants are becoming more popular, but if they choose something that's just really not aligned with you, that may tell you something. I dated a guy who, we hung out and then he wanted to go get breakfast at McDonald's. And I realized in that moment, oh, I actually don't think this is right, which seems so silly, but it really showed me a lot about just his mentality around lifestyle and health and food. And we didn't keep dating after that.